Simbanet Radio, sauti ya mwananchi.
Good morning and welcome to Today in Focus. This is a podcast where we break down the biggest topic that everyone is talking about today. And you are listening to Simbanet Radio, sauti ya mwananchi. I'm your host Jane, and today we are going to look at a topic that many people have been struggling with it, and many people are asking about this question across the country. And today's topic is, why is life becoming too expensive? Or is Kenya becoming too expensive to live in? What do you think as an individual? You can send us your opinion via our WhatsApp number 0728-091-656. Also on all social media platforms at Simbanet Radio, and on YouTube at Simbanet TV. So let's look deeper into this topic. And for the past few years, the cost of living has just been increasing day by day. You remember a long time ago, there was a time when you could just buy a matchbox with only 2 shillings. With 2 shillings, you could buy a matchbox. With 20 shillings, you could buy a quarter of rice. But right now, even those 1 shillings are not valuable in Kenya. We don't use them anymore. And the price of foodstuffs, for example, maize flour, there was a time when with only 30 shillings or 40 shillings you could buy a kilo of maize flour. But right now, without 70 shillings plus, it's very hard to find a maize flour. The cost of oil, cooking oil, I mean, there was a time when with just 20 shillings, you could buy a quarter liter of cooking oil. But right now, 1 liter is at 250 shillings. And from the cost of food in local markets to rising electricity bills, there was a time when tokens, 100 shillings could buy you 6 units of token. But right now, 100 shillings is only buying you 3 units of token. But also rent, school fees. School fees a long time ago in public schools, it could just be 300 shillings, 200 shillings. Right now, it's much above. And many families say they are feeling more financial pressure than ever before. And in cities like Nairobi and Mombasa, rent has gone up. Transport fares are rising. And even basic foods like maize flour and cooking oil have become more expensive. And at the same time, many workers say their salaries have not increased. That is true. Day by day, maize flour, a lot of foodstuffs, they keep on rising in cost. But you find that, for example, if the maize flour was 100 shillings in 2019 or 2020, and your salary was, let's say 15,000 shillings, right now you find the price of maize flour is at 200 shillings, 2 kg. 1 kg is at 100 shillings, but your salary is still 15,000 shillings. So it's not even making sense. I think when things happen, for example, if food cost increases, or even fuel cost, transport cost, or electricity bills increases, I think also the salaries should increase, so that we can, you get what I'm saying. And one of the biggest concerns for many households is the rising cost of basic necessities. Take food, for example. A few years ago, many families could comfortably afford basic meals like ugali, also vegetables. With only 10 shillings, you could buy a vegetable, for example, a cabbage, with only 10 shillings. A whole cabbage with only 10 shillings. But now, a whole cabbage, you find it's above 50 shillings. And it's not like you will eat it for a whole week. Maybe it's just a day, depending on how your family is. And but today, prices of maize flour, cooking oil, sugar, and vegetables have increased significantly. Many traders blame several factors, and they are saying that these foodstuffs are increasing due to high fuel prices and increased transport, climate change affecting agriculture. I don't agree with that. Okay, it's partially true, but also because it's not like there is a time when foodstuffs are below. I mean, the foodstuffs, for example, maize flour, it's always at 200 shillings and 150 and above, always. Whether it's rainy, whether it's sunny, whether it's just cool. So I don't think the climate change is really a factor. And also they say about the global economic pressures and about the fuel prices going up. Transportation have become more expensive, and many people are saying that the cost of transport and the price of good have increased, and also taxation. They said that the government is taxing more money, and maybe it's true. That may be true, because when the taxes increase in food, the shopkeepers will have to increase the price, the cost of the foodstuffs. And recent laws like the Finance Act 2023 introduced new taxes that affect fuel, digital services, and other goods. And supporters say these taxes help the government raise revenue. And but critics argue that the taxes are adding pressure on ordinary citizens. That is true. It's just adding a burden on us ordinary citizens. And as a result, many households are being forced to adjust their lifestyles. This is when you find, if there was a time when you could eat, for example, beef, meat, 3 days in a week, right now you'll just have to eat 1 day in a week. So we just have to adjust. And some families are reducing the number of meals they eat daily. That is true. It's not just affecting comrades. Many people are forced to take breakfast, skip lunch, and eat supper or dinner. And for many Kenyans, survival has become the main priority. So it's like now life is more about surviving more than living, and that is true because everything is changing. Money like those 1 bobs, 5 shillings right now, I don't think they are even valuable in Kenya, considering how expensive things are and everything. Let's see. While the cost of living continues to rise, salaries for many workers have remained almost the same. Yeah, we have said that. And many young professionals entering the workforce say it is difficult to save money. How do you even find enough money to save while unless you have you have an extra job? Kama uko na kazi nyingine apart from ile ambayo unafanya ambayo unalipwa mwisho wa mwezi, then hapo utaweza kusave. But if you just have one job, itakuwa ngumu kusave. You tell me how una earn 15k, nyumba unaishi ni especially watu wako na familia. So nyumba unaishi iwe ni ya 4k. 4k is just a single room, a small single room in Nairobi. So you pay 4k. There is the electricity bill, there is the water bill, and also you have to pay for takataka. Lazima ulipie takataka pia. And also you have to buy foodstuffs. You have to pay for transport unless you are working near where you are living, which is kind of hard because for you to find a good job, or a cheaper house, for you to find a cheaper house, inafaa kuwa uko ndani. So I think everyone has to pay for transport wakienda kwa kazi zao, especially wenye wanafanya kazi. So I don't think na kwa hii 15k, remember bado kuna those emergencies zenye hupatikana within the month, and also you have to kuwekea familia yako ambao wako ushago kakitu. So where will you find the money to save? It's not even enough. So it's really hard to save. And in major urban centers like Nairobi, rent alone can consume a large percentage of a person's salary. That is true. And for example, a small bed sitter may cost thousands of shillings each month. Bed sitter pekee, ikue ndogo ama ikue kubwa, zinaanzia huko 6k kwenda juu. And hata hiyo ya 6k anyway, also transport to work, food, internet, electricity, water bills, and by the time these expenses are paid, ni pesa kidogo tu inabaki. So ni ngumu kuinvest ama kusave, and the situation has forced many Kenyans or many young people to look for side hustles. And wenye wanabahatika hapa ni wenye wako na skills za digital marketing, freelancing, vitu kama hizo. So bila hizo, ama pia ka small business, of which hata ka small business kuanzisha, it needs money, na hiyo pesa labda ujinyime for some months. And others are joining the gig economy through services like ride hailing and delivery work. Yeah, and while these opportunities help some people, they are not always stable. As ziko stable, like nile tu uwezi tegemea atuseme this will be my full-time job. Remember, you are listening to Simbanes Radio, Sauti ya Mwananchi, and my name is Jen, your everyday host, and we are this is Today in Focus, and we are looking at a topic or a question that many people have been asking themselves in the whole country. And this question is Kenya becoming too expensive to live in? What do you think? Share your opinion with us, at Simbanes Radio on all social media platforms, and Simbanes TV on YouTube, and on our WhatsApp number 0728 091 656. This is Simbanes Radio, sauti ya mwananchi. Let's look at the impact on small businesses. And the rising cost of living is also affecting small businesses and small traders, often called hustlers. Yeah, form the backbone of Kenya's economy. But many businesses owners say sales have dropped, and this is why, because when people have less money, they reduce spending. True. If you have a little money, you won't have to buy some foodstuffs every day. You'll have to adjust. You won't be needing some things. You might need them, but you'll have to adjust because you don't have all the money to buy everything. Customers may postpone buying clothes, electronics, or other items. Yeah, that is true. And instead, they focus only on basic necessities like food and rent. At the same time, business owners are also dealing with higher costs. That is transport, electricity, rent, and taxes, which are increasing day by day. And some small businesses have been forced to reduce employees or close completely. And what do you think when what do you think will happen when these small businesses are closed? That means someone is left unemployed. Hiyo ni shida ingine. Juu ukishafutwa kazi, ni ngumu kupata ingine. Unless, as they say today, unless uko na connections. And sidhani utakuwa unafanya aje kazi kwa a small business na ukuwe na connection. Anyway. So, for young entrepreneurs trying to start businesses, these challenges can be discouraging. However, some innovative business owners are adapting by moving their businesses online, using social media marketing, and offering delivery services. So nowadays watu wengi hata wanauzia online. It's easier to order kitu yako online, of which ni kama bado itafanya watu wengine wakose kazi. But it's okay. It's still okay. So let's take a break and we will be back shortly.
Simbanes Radio, sauti ya mwananchi. Simbanes Radio, sauti ya mwananchi.
Welcome back. This is Simbanes Radio, sauti ya mwananchi. This is Today in Focus, a podcast where we break down the main topic that everyone is talking about. And our today's question is Kenya becoming too expensive to live in? when you compare long ago, those days and right now, what do you think? Is Kenya really becoming too expensive to live in? Our WhatsApp number is 0728091656. On YouTube, you can find us at Simbanest TV, and on all social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and X at Simbanest Radio. So let's see how Kenyans are coping with this situation. And despite these challenges, Kenyans are known for their resilience. That is true. We are really resilient, and no matter maisha ikuwe ngumu aje, bado tunapambana. And many people are finding creative ways to survive. For example, side hustles. And many people now have more than one job. And someone may work in an office during the day and run an online business in the evening. And also, families and communities often support each other during difficult times. Also, more people are learning how to manage their finances carefully. Kama uko na 15k, una learn not to kuishi nyumba ya 10k, because that won't even make sense. Ukiwa na 15k, unafaa ukuwe hata na nyumba ya 3k ama ya 4k, ndo pesa yako upange vizuri. And also, some families are relocating to areas where rent and living costs are lower. Hii ni kwa wale ambao wana rent, and most people in Nairobi huwa wana rent. And at least mwenye akona kwake, you know, each month hutakaa na uoga ya unaweza kuja kutolewa na landlord kwa kukosa kulipa rent. But kwa mwenye analipa rent, unakaa na hiyo uoga. You have to be kulipa on time, and lazima ukuwe na hiyo pesa by the end month. And these strategies show the determination of Kenyans to adapt and survive even in difficult economic conditions. Okay, tell me, tusipopambana tutaenda na Kenya ndo kwetu, tutaenda wapi? So tutaka tu Kenya tupambane na hali venye iko, just like venye chameleon who adapt kulingana na environment. We will still adapt pia, and that's what we are built for. So, and as a Kenyan citizen, as a Kenyan ordinary citizen, what do you think could be the possible solutions for this situation? And share your opinion with us at our WhatsApp number 0728091656, and on YouTube at Simbanest TV, and on all social media platforms, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, X at Simbanest Radio. And let's see some of the solutions. Experts are saying that several solutions could be possible. For example, improving agricultural productivity to help reduce food prices. Okay, not that nataka kumaanisha, but sai tu tumeona watu wanataka kuwa climate change ni mbaya, but maybe it's a solution. Watu wakikuwa too generous, maybe na hard working, maybe it's a solution. Itasaidia ku reduce food costs. And we hope basi kwa wale ambao mtu anapanda hivi vyakula anahitaji pia fertilizers. na pia transport. Ashapanda kwake kuzitoa kwa shamba zipeleke kwa market, transport. So itabidi serikali pia ipunguze bei ya transport, ya fuel and taxes, ili kuna mahali pia inaanza juu. There is no way a farmer ama mwenye anapanda hivyo vyakula atatumia pesa mingi then akuje atuzie vyakula cheap. It's not even possible, they won't. So the more bei ya fertilizer inapanda, the more maji na bei ya maji inakuwa expensive, the more transport inakuwa juu, the more atatuuzia vyakula expensive pia. Na policies that encourage job creation would increase income and economic stability. Also, supporting small businesses through favorable policies and financing could help strengthen the economy. So I think kulikuwa na hii nini policy ya kusaidia mwanabiashara mdogo, and President Ruto alipeana Hustler Fund. But Hustler Fund alipeana, you could even be given 500 shillings. 500 shillings inaanzisha biashara gani? Maybe kuna wenye walianzisha nazo. Tungetaka mtuambie mlifanya aje, mligawa aje, mlibai nini? Because 500 seems kidogo sana ya kuanzisha biashara. And economic transparency and good governance are important for building public trust. Na hiyo ndo hatuna sana sana hapo kwa good governance. Kwetu iko chini kidogo, and if these areas are addressed, Kenya could move toward a more stable and inclusive economy. So what do you think could be more possible solutions? Abu, share with us. And as we conclude, one thing is clear: the rising cost of living is a real challenge affecting millions of Kenyans. And from higher food prices to increasing rent and transport costs, many families are feeling the pressure. However, Kenyans continue to show resilience, creativity, and determination. And the big question now is this: will economic policies and opportunities improve fast enough to make life more affordable? What do you think? Could they improve? And only time will tell. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Jane Naitore, and I'm your host for Today in Focus podcast. And always